No.
No?
No.
You were supposed to be like,
No.
what? I don't understand you.
I know, but
No? I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I don't understand you.
I don't
I
understand.
thought you'd roll with it. I thought you would. I really did. I thought you'd roll with it, but that's okay. Yeah, I thought you'd find that funny and roll with it naturally, but you didn't. I Don't Understand You is the movie we went and saw. And this is about a gay couple who is looking to adopt a kid. Oh boy, we lost half the audience. Adios. Bye.
Bye.
And they're also celebrating their 10-year
Year
anniversary. And so they have a trip to Italy. They get some pretty good news.
Yep.
While they're there, but they're they think they have a little more time than they do. But regardless, they're still on their vacation, and they go and they meet up with one of their dad's best friends who lives there, and he gifts them this trip to some exclusive restaurants,
Yes.
so to speak. It ends up being this old woman who's retired, and she's like this amazing chef, and he got him in there as kind of a favor, and she hasn't cooked in forever. And while they're there, they accidentally do something, and then they're trying desperately to get out of this situation so that they can get home to their new family that they've been dying for, pun intended. So, as the title would suggest, the lion's share of the humor in this movie is really revolving around this notion of people not understanding one another.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if one of them, and they do allude to it to a degree, that one of them is using Duolingo to try to learn Italian before they go.
Yeah.
And it's shown that he has not learned it very well, and that the app is not as effective as he had hoped it was going to be. And so there's a lot of just miscommunication errors in the film that result in some dire situations. And all of these would have been resolved had people just known how to talk to one another.
Yes, yeah. It's
like 90% of the humor in this movie is people don't understand each other.
Yeah, I mean
and that's the title of the film.
Yeah, I thought the humor worked really well. I thought that there was some really good comedic moments in this, some pretty funny things happening. I really like the two leads and their chemistry together, their comedic chemistry and just the general chemistry as well. I thought they played off of each other very well, and I had a really good time with this. I thought that it's very silly, it's just kind of a very
it's a roll with it kind of
yeah
movie.
You just kind of have to be like, yep, okay, that's happening, and
yeah.
It's sort of is a snowball effect of things happening, one after the other, and you're just like, oh my god, things can't get worse, and then they get worse, and I liked it. I thought it was really entertaining. And there's a good little kind of post-credit scene that we almost missed. We literally walked out the theater and then we heard dialogue, so we ran back in.
We were the only
ones in our
theater.
And so we got to get that scene, and it's good. Definitely stick around. It's not deep into the credits. It's maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds or so. But yeah, I had a good time with this one.
Yeah, you definitely want to see this.
Oh yeah,
this mid-credit sequence, because it does answer a
answers,
question,
it answers.
which I guessed. Probably, I don't know at what point in the film, but I was like, this is what's going to happen, and that is and then when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, that's kind of shocking, and we're not going to address any of this at all.
Yeah.
And then we left the theater, and then we heard something, and then I was like, oh, wait, maybe, and then we ran back in, and I was like, yeah, I knew that's the way this was going to go. Which, okay, here's the thing. Number one, and you should probably talk about this because this is something that you really loved, and I did too, but I think you liked even more, is our characters in this are very endearing.
Oh yeah, there was actually a scene that made me like tear up in this, which I wasn't expecting at all. But I just thought they were very like, especially like just getting to know them and stuff. Um, they just feel like a very sweet like couple, and like I said, I really liked their chemistry and like dynamic together. Thought it was really cute, and I cared about them like pretty much immediately. I feel like the film does a really great job at like just getting you to like and care about the characters.
Yeah.
So you're just there with them for the whole ride, and you kind of, I feel like, are on the same page as them, where you're like, no, like there's so much that could be at stake here. But yeah, I thought they were very endearing.
So I agree with the characters being solid. I did like their chemistry. I did like their humor. I thought that they were very likable, and I don't know if I would say relatable today, of course, but I would say that I instantly was on board with them and their relationship. They felt like a genuine couple, and you were rooting for them and whatever. The problem I had with the film, and it's going to kind of be hard to talk about without some, at least, like, hints at spoilers, just because I don't know how else to talk about this without it, like, someone who's intelligent being able to put this together. But one of the issues that I have with the film is that while I do like the chemistry and I do like the characters and the setups for things are funny and whatnot, and it kind of reminds me of a movie sort of that we watched maybe last year. Was that Uncle something yeah, Uncle Bill, when the uncle comes home and he tries to blackmail the family.
Yeah.
And they kill him.
Yes.
And then I can't remember what the movie's
like
called.
You or something. I thought maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I can't remember that. We liked that movie a lot, though.
We did, but the scenario in that is more believably written for me than this. The series of events leading up to this, while I'm fine with it,
yeah,
I don't like it because I don't like okay, I'll try to be more, as I said, I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, but regardless. Okay, so the series of events that happen, I think there's a way to write these better to not make them look so bad in the end. Right? There's things that are happening here where I'm like, okay, you've kind of lost me. You're now completely complicit and responsible for this.
I should.
And I'm not rooting for you anymore. And so when things conclude the way that they do, you're supposed to be cheering.
I guess
you're supposed
right
to be happy, and
yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not happy. You deserve to not be happy.
I guess that's fair.
Because it goes way too far.
It does go
It goes
far.
way too fucking far. And there's just not enough there for me.
I understand.
You can write this in a way where, okay, like Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a perfect example of the, like, people who are in a situation, unbeknownst to them, things start happening, they're freaking out, like, what the fuck, we're gonna get arrested, this is no fault of our own, we look like hillbilly redneck killers, no one's ever gonna believe us, the cops are already out for us, this is not our fault, what the fuck can we do, we're gonna lose everything. And I like that the setup is that they are finally gonna get their family, and this is everything to them. But I think it's that they try to have their cake and eat it too with these characters. I feel like with the way it's written, it's supposed to be like aw shucks, we found ourselves in this terrible situation. Aren't we such good people? We deserve our happiness. But then it's like the way the film plays out and the way the ending happens, I'm sitting there going, am I supposed to think that you are good people that deserve what's happening right now? Because that's 100% how it plays out. And then the post-credit sequence is an extra dagger in the heart of that because there's no accountability. As I said, I can't even talk about it. This is spoilers at this point. I don't know how else to say this. But it falls on someone else. And it's like, no. Are you fucking kidding me? You get to have a happily ever after when you go run amok in another country? Just kind of like haphazardly just, run it. I just, my brain is like, while I'm watching this, I'm like, no fucking way. No way they're allowed to get away with this.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that the characters this is like one of those situations where they're just like, it's a likable, antagonist, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they're very much like a reluctant antagonist. Like,
But don't you feel like the ending ends in a way where we're supposed to be like...
Yeah, you're happy.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, you're happy. You're like, they did it. They made it through. I was happy at the end.
They shouldn't.
But I agree with you. I think that realistically, yeah. But it is a comedy. It is kind of outrageous and silly. Like, so there, those elements are all there. It's, it's not like the kind of movie where people are getting their, karmic justice.
No, but there is a way to write this.
I agree. I know what you're saying, where it's more accidental, where it's more like you're stumbling into things, because there's a point in the movie where it changes from being accidental to just being, like, full-on, like, intentional. But it is all couched in this, like, people not understanding, like a misunderstanding of the situation and whatever, and instead of trying to explain, things just go too far. So, but I know what you're saying. I agree. I think that, like, that would have been funnier, but the movie is definitely more about the misunderstanding than the accidental, like, becoming something.
And to add to this, and I know this is like I don't know, this is a weird little addition thing to put on here, but because there is so much scrutiny against gay couples raising kids.
Oh, yeah.
To put out a movie where these guys are straight up fucking murderers.
I think that's part of the humor.
And they're adopting a kid. It's like, this is not the kind of people you want raising a child.
That's part of the comedy, though.
So to me, it's like, not really a great...
all the gay guys adopting... Sorry, but
no, I get it.
Like, that is like part of the
that is
funny.
Kind of a meta humor to a degree. It did not make me hate the film.
Yeah.
It just made me think, and this is intentional. I think that everything that happens in the film, they meant for it to play out the way that it is. I don't think we're supposed to be fully on board with what happens. But as I said, the way the film plays out, they're still doing they're in full fucking denial. They're still very much like, oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Like, how did we find ourselves in this? They 100% still think they're the victims in the end.
Oh, yeah. Again, also part of the humor.
And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
It's also part, yeah.
So, I mean, you talk about being in super, super denial. So that's an aspect of the film that hurt for me. Because I do think that there is a way to do this where I would be like, oh man, that is a shitty situation.
Right.
You can have this person run into this person, and then this person comes out. And they try to do it for a bit. When the guy's coming, you're going to be dead. You're going to be dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not understanding. And then he comes with the knife and all that. Like, I get that. But then later on, when people come back to life and they're just fully in it at that point, and they're like running people over on the road.
Yeah.
And just not even looking back. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are just straight up murderers at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what are we even doing here? So, I guess that's funny. I mean, I'm not down on it, per se. I don't know. I felt indifferent.
Okay.
I felt kind of like, I don't know how I feel. Exactly. Which is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still mulling it over, I guess.
All right.
But I just think that this could be handled in a different way. But maybe that's the point, right? If this was a foreign film, I probably would be more open to it because I'm so used to this in foreign films where the characters are shitheads.
Yeah.
But they were really trying to sell me like, oh, I'm supposed to root for these guys and feel sorry for them. And I'm like, I don't. Like, at all. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. That's the other thing. Last thing here, and then I'll shut the fuck up. The initial accident is a full-on accident.
Yeah.
They don't set it up well enough for me. I guess that is the crux of it. That's really that's where the issue stems from. That's right. That's the jumping off point for me where I was starting to disconnect, is in that moment where I'm like, just call the police. Mm-hmm. Like, she fell down the fucking stairs. I mean, yes, he bumps into her or whatever, but she falls down the stairs. She injures herself. And then, he tries chest compressions, which anyone would do. If they knew what they were doing, and she went out and he tries, and she's older, so her bones break, and then boom, it's like, okay, call the police and just be like, she fell down the stairs. Yeah. Like, I get it, you're in another country and you're worried, but set that up in the movie where like people in that area are really against you, and you've already ran into cops, and they're like, you fags, you know what I mean? Like, where they're really scared that they're not accepted in this country, and that there's people around who are out to get them. But all of their interactions, except for with like the weird interaction with the hotel guy, which he's like very like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Now they're not understanding, so maybe they think people are madder at them than they are, and they think the old lady even is. I don't know. It just doesn't sell it to me where they think they're going to prison. They just don't want to risk anything, which just makes them even more villainous to me. That they would just like take this sweet old woman who took them out of the rain and made them all this food and everything, and then they leave her husband to die in the basement. Like, it's so awful. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, nobody's on iron lungs anymore. That's not a thing. That was an old school thing for polio. Once upon a time. So it was interesting to see an iron lung. I don't think I've seen an iron lung in a movie. I actually Googled this, and there is one single person still on an iron lung to this day. Wow. And somebody in 2024 died who was the second to last person to ever be on one.
Yeah.
But yeah, those aren't a thing anymore. So interesting. Anyway, that's it. We got a little bit of spoiler discussion there.
Yes.
But I had to bring it up because I don't know how else to talk about it
I think that's
without
fair.
getting
Yeah. Some spoilers.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Oh no.
I know. She wants to go to bed, so I apologize. Anyway, it's in theaters right now, limited. It was only at one theater around here. We went and jumped on it. We chose this over The Ritual with Al Pacino and Dan Stevens. That movie looks awful. So I think we definitely picked the better of the two. But anyway, if you go see it, let us know.
Let us know.
And we'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
Adios.